Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel for another unboxing series episode here in the workshop. And today we have the Iron Man comic origin versions from Hot Toys. Here are the credits and the warnings on the back. This is a really cool box. I really like that it's another side loading piece, like they have done with most of their Iron Mans as of late, including Rescue, which is another piece that will have a showcase series very soon. But there is a photo of the figure on the front, and it's a really cool looking figure once you get it open. But I did open this up live on one of the shows on Collector's Figure, so I have already seen what he looks like. Plus I've seen other reviews on him as well. So how about we take this one out of the box and see what he looks like. Here he is outside the box, and all of the protective plastic removed. And overall, he's actually a really good figure. He's not the best Iron Man I've received, but he's actually really cool and really truly close to the comic book, as I think we're going to get from Hot Toys. So, but the red and the gold really pop even through that white clear plastic. It's painted very well. I was very impressed with some of the ingenuity of the movements of the ankles and knees for this guy. They definitely went out of their way to make sure that this guy moved correctly. He's got great articulation. My only issues is that he doesn't come with enough hands. Here he is up close for a closer look. So you can see that plastic isn't that big of a deal, at least to me. I know that was one of the major concerns going into this figure, was that it would look goofy. My only gripe is there you can see on the bottom there that they don't clip together as well as they should, at least on my particular figure. But the back pieces are just fine. They separate. They look like any other Iron Man flaps that you have. Again, the white pieces, see there in the light, it catches the light a little bit. So it's not that big of a deal. I mean, it looks so much better in hand than it does via camera or on the internet. So if you're a fan of this comic book version of Iron Man, I would pick him up. Now here he is with all the plastic that I could removed. I took all the plastic that I could off just so you could see what it looks like underneath all that plastic. Now, I'm not sure, but I possibly could remove the ones from the feet, just not the top part. If I were truly trying, all of this could be removed, in my opinion. There are some people who have actually already painted over this stuff, so I'm sure you could check that out in the group if you haven't seen that stuff already. It looked pretty good. I may try that myself, but I'm probably leaning towards just leaving it the way it is. I don't mind the plastic on there. It makes it more unique. I'm not exactly sure what Hot Toys has for comic book licenses, but this looks really good for what they did. I know they got the movie licenses, but I'm not sure if they've got complete control over the comic book licenses. That could still belong to someone else. But you can see all the different intricate lines. They really did a good job making sure they didn't miss anything. Now going in and putting the accessory pieces on that aren't see-through plastic. See, and if you want this look, it looks really good. A little closer to the comic book. Now this particular red and gold pop out a little bit more because you don't have that plastic. Again, this is another look you could do if you don't like that clear plastic look. I think it looks good like this, and each one comes with a different style helmet. Like the ones with the pointed face plate is here, and then it's different up top. And then as you go to the other face plates, its design is different. On the top, you can't really see it with the camera angle that I have it in, but it's there. It looks different. And then it's smoother, of course, across the face, which is, again, very, very good job to attention to detail in designing this Iron Man piece. I am super impressed with what they did. I mean, there are a few things that have knocked the score down, so I'll get to those in a little bit. Accessory-wise, you have the briefcase. And with this briefcase, it's not the best feeling material. You open it up. See, I put all these inside already. You can take these out of here. You can store these in here, which is a very good spot to store these in. This opens up. Be careful on the right-hand side. It does like to stick and not fully go down like the other side. I don't know why. But then you can store the faceplate in here, of course. As you open it up, I don't think you can store it in here. It won't close up with that in there, but you can certainly put it in there for effect. I mean, that's pretty much it. It opens and closes, and then you can hang these things on here on either side. I would recommend only putting one in because the instruction says two, or pretty much all of them, which is weird because it just looks muddled and really busy, which causes this accessory to just look dumb, to be honest with you. There's these nice blue films that look really cool if you have it in the right lighting, for sure. But the instructions themselves, so you have you putting them all in at once. The A, the B, the C, D, and E. I mean, that's where they go, but having them all in at once, again, just looks really ridiculous and way over the top. So I would recommend just doing one at a time, because it just looks crazy, and I don't know why you'd put all of these in at once, because it just looks dumb. It looks, unless it makes some sort of picture together when it's all in there. I don't understand why all of them would be in there. So it just looks better with just one, like he's got one screen up at a time, and you can interchange it as you need to. Some of these don't want to go in. You got to make sure. There's a couple, one or two of them is for the table, so which I won't be using on that either. But yeah, they fold over, and they store in there very nicely, so you can have it closed up. Oh, not that one. This one does though. And see how, I mean, they have decent pictures on them. If you can get the right lighting, you can get it through, or just see the different stuff that's on them. It's pretty neat stuff. It's a pretty cool accessory. This goes on the table, I believe. But yeah, that about does it for this stuff. Moving on to the hands. Again, you don't get much. You only get 6, and I'm not sure if it were at the time because it was a really hot day out, and this part had come out on the other hand. This one. See, it just popped right out of there when I tried to put it on. It kind of sucked, but I'll fix it eventually. But yeah, 6 hands. That's all you get with this guy. It's pretty underwhelming. You get the posable fingers. It's kind of tough there to bend, but yeah. Most of the other Iron Man figures come with these types of hands, which is really cool. I like it with the addition of this one. And then you got the blaster effect hands. You can see the difference between them. That's a little weird that they would paint it differently than the other ones. I'm not sure why they went that way. And then of course 2 fists. You can't, punching any fighting stance you want, landing poses. Yeah, but that's about it for the hands. Again, a lot less than I thought there would be. And now we will move on to the Iron Man helmet. Here I have it disassembled in all of its various pieces. I was surprised to see that you could take off a lot of the clear plastic, but here's the front piece, and it's all pretty simple to take off. I had the painted versions on for a moment, and now just to get these other pieces off, I wanted to show you guys how this is assembled. Here it is, just clean, plain. You do have the two sides, the painted and the clear. This one goes on this side, and then oh no, it does go. It's going on the other side, or maybe it does go on this side. Yep, align it properly, unlike me, folks. But yes, it does go on the sides, like so, and it just presses on, just like that. And then, depending on which faceplate you're using, you'll put on the clear plastic, and then the faceplate. It doesn't look bad. I mean, even with the clear plastic, it doesn't look bad at all. I'm impressed. Here's the button to turn it on. I'm probably not going to put the batteries in at all. We know how Hot Toys batteries do not like to work very long. But we would go like that and like this. It comes off pretty easily for every piece, and then you can just adjust accordingly to which side you want it on, either the painted or the clear plastic. Again, I'm still astounded on how much this clear plastic actually comes off. That's the wrong one. But yeah, he looks really good. I love the paint job. I love the gold. I love the red. There is also the plastic for the neck, so I'm not sure where those are at right this moment, but it looks really good. I'm super impressed with this. Again, they did a really good job designing it. Could even put the clear plastic on and keep the painted sides on. It still looks pretty good. I'm not upset about this clear plastic at all. But you could also probably use the clear plastics on the sides. And you could use the painted version for the top. Yeah, just like so. So even that looks pretty good. It's not as ugly as the original pictures had given us before, because the blogger photos didn't do this thing justice, in my opinion. They made it look very chunky and very ugly, to be honest with you. No offense to those guys. I know they take good pictures, and they work hard taking those pictures. So now we're going to move on to the base. Now to the base, here's a little time lapse of how I assembled everything. I wanted to do something a little bit different for the 50th unboxing series episode, so it's a little longer, and you can see how things go on here. It was kind of a pain in the butt to put together. Even with the instructions, they were a little confusing, at least for me. They're probably not confusing for a lot of other people, but it was just putting it together, making sure you didn't have to screw anything on. The bottoms are all held on with magnets. So, and here it is all assembled. I am missing one of the other silver pieces. I just dropped it on the floor, and then I'll get it in a moment. But I wasn't sure what to do with the arm, so that's why it's kind of sitting where it is right now. But overall, pretty happy with it. It does feel a little on the cheap side, but it is cool for aesthetic for sure. But that does it for the accessories. Let's move on to some poses. With this being the Iron Man from the comic books, I wanted to do some comic book poses. So here's the first one. I think I pulled it off pretty nicely. I did need to use a stand to get him to balance, at least standing upright. I'm pretty sure, and it looks pretty good. I think it pulled it off pretty well. Again, this guy is pretty posable, but you will need a a stand for sure for most poses. But he looks pretty good. I think it turned out very well. And here is another attempt at a comic book cover pose. As you can see, I needed the flight stand for this one. It did, again, turn out pretty well. There's that hand again, where I couldn't find the plastic piece that went in there. Again, I do feel like it was too hot in here. And that's one reason why it came out of there. Other than that, Hot Toys' shoddy gluing sometimes takes effect. But yeah, overall, really good pose. It wasn't too much of a pain to get him into this pose. Some of the ab sections did like to separate, so I just had to fuss that down. But yeah, it wasn't too bad of trying to get him in this pose. Again, these legs, if you look closely, they're designed really well to move. The plates on the legs move. If you check out other reviews, you probably see it a little closer, but yeah, it looks really good. Now on to the other one. Here he is with the Mark 85, which I feel is more closer to the representation of the comic. That's why I wanted to pose him with the Mark 85, because I feel like, yeah, it was just the closest to the comic book version. But yeah, they look really well together. Again, you don't really want to pose this one with your MCU guys and gals, because he just he won't fit in there. One thing about this Iron Man, he has that articulated toe, so that helps out a lot to be standing the way he does. Whereas some this Mark 85 does not have a very articulated toe. The 85 does have an articulated toe, it's just not as articulated as the other guy over here. But I think they look very well together if you were to pose them on an Iron Man shelf. Now this one, I wanted to get another comic book style guy out here, and I felt like this was one of the best versions to help represent the comic book, which is the classic Spider-Man suit. Which again, I think it complements his Iron Man very, very well. If you were to have these two on a shelf together, I think it would work. And I think it's very cool to actually see these two together. I honestly surprised myself when I put them together. So they look really cool together. There is another Iron Man like this coming, which is the stealth suit they just recently announced. So you actually have your pick of which Iron Man you would like to use, which is pretty cool. So, but moving on to a score, I'm gonna have to give this Iron Man probably a 7.9. No, that's just my score. If you have a different score, let me know in the comment section down below. But as you can see, the table itself is kind of leaning, and then the fact that some of the plastic pieces just don't want to stay on, that was a factor in losing some points on my score. And then, to be honest with you, the briefcase is already broken. I was trying to open up one side, and it just decided to snap off. So it definitely lost some points on that one as well. A 7.9 from me. It could be higher, it could be lower for you guys. That's just perfectly fine. I am truly curious to know which score you guys will give him. But that'll do it for this one. I want to thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and share this video. It helps out the channel immensely. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy, always be kind, and we will catch you on the next one. Damn it, Spider-Man.